HDR #1, take 2. That's right, guys. We're going to dig into the second half or the second part of the HDR #1. Now, in the first one, it was a lentil stew, and it was basically beans and rice, and it was pretty dang good. And today, oh, by the way, welcome back to 1822 MC Adventures and More. This is my channel, and if you didn't already know, my name is Pete, and today we're going to be eating a humanitarian daily ration MRE. I've already eaten one. Now we're going to eat the other half of it. And it is a vegetable barley stew. All right. And the vegetable barley stew, that pouch is 300 calories, 11 grams of fat, 1.5 grams of saturated fat, no cholesterol, 1,150 milligrams of sodium, 47 carbohydrates, 8 grams of dietary fiber, and total sugars 8 grams, added sugars 0, protein 6 grams. Definitely needs meat, don't it? All right, so enough of that. We'll just put that right there for now. And this is my bag of stuff, because all it comes with is salt and sugar, pepper, matches, a handy wipe, something like that, you know. So you're going to have to add your own drinks. And in here I've got coffee, and I've also got tea. So what will I be cooking this on? Oh, and my meat, before I go any further, the meat here is some soft jerky. And I just want to say thank you, Travis. This stuff is absolutely awesome. Those of you that don't know, I've got a friend named Travis. Imagine that, right? I got a friend, right? Anyways, and he's a meat processor, among many other things. And last time I was talking to him, somehow we got on the subject of beef jerky, and I told him shit was kind of hard to chew and whatnot. And he's like, oh, I got something for you. He reaches into his refrigerator, and he pulls out a bag of, basically it looked like smoked meatloaf to me. He says, this is soft jerky. He says, you'll love it. And he's right. It's venison. It's been ground up. There's spices and whatnot in there. So I'm assuming he puts it in his smoker like a meatloaf, and then he slices it up. But the stuff is absolutely awesome. So we're going to have, excuse me, we're going to be having a vegetable barley stew, which I'm going to thin out to more of a soup, I think, with some venison in it, venison jerky. How are we going to be doing this? Well, I'll be drinking out of my River Country Products cup, of course. But I will be cooking this on my new Pathfinder alcohol stove. And why did I buy a Pathfinder? Well, when I was looking at stoves back right around my time of my birthday, right before Christmas, I was like, man, I need to get me a new alcohol stove. Tired of using these beer can penny stoves. They work just fine, but the ones I've been using them so long, I need to make new ones. So I thought, well, why don't I try a store-bought one? Excuse me. So I got to get on the website of Sportsman's Guide, and this is a non-paid advertisement for Sportsman's Guide. Really don't want to be an affiliate, guys. I'm not punking for nobody, but I will talk good about your store and your products if they're good enough for me to talk about. So I'm looking at Trangia stoves, and they had a traditional brass one made in China, hoping for one maybe made in Switzerland or Sweden, but no. And it was $22 and change, and it was nothing more than the brass Trangia with a lid and an O-ring, right? Now it's $22 and change. And the Pathfinder stove, which is made out of stainless steel, which I'm still on the fence about that. But it's stainless steel. It comes with a screw cap and O-ring and a temperature regulator, which also works as a snuffer outer, right? Like a candle snuffer. So I was like, wow. Do I want to be a traditionalist and go with Chinese brass, which is probably questionable at best? Or do I want to go with stainless steel? Well, the fact that it was $2 cheaper and it had a lid, a snuffer ring with it, that was enough to convince me to try one with stainless steel. And in my first MRE taste test, or I'm sorry, HDR taste test, I think the deck was stacked against this thing. The fuel I had for it was like 2 years old, had been sitting on the shelf, hadn't used it in a while. I think that stuff was a little lame. And then my shepherd hooks, they weren't close enough to the stove, and just the whole thing ended up being a disaster. So rather than trash it out on the first video, I figured out it's worthy of a second chance. So I'm going to put some fresh heat in there, and I've rebent my shepherd hooks that will be appropriate for what we're trying to do here. So without further ado, let me put some alcohol in this thing. It should already be charged up from the last time I tried to use it. But like I said here, it's got this temperature regulator that I can sit there and open and close it to sort of regulate the heat. I'll mostly be using it as a thing to put it out with. And we're going to put some in here. And I'll be reading the specs off the box in just a minute. But I know it holds like, it was either 2 or 4 ounces. I forget. But here's a fresh bottle of heat. And the instructions did say to like fill it all the way up. So we got that filled just about all the way up. I'm going to let that soak for just a minute while I read you the specs. All right, this is one genuine Pathfinder alcohol stove made of stainless steel. And it holds 4.5 ounces. For those of you that have never been to the moon, it's 133 milliliters. Okay. All right. The height of the stove is 1 3/4 inches. The width of it is 3 1/3. And the weight is 5 ounces. I'm assuming that that's empty for you weight wieners. It recommends denatured alcohol. Well, that's what this is. And you can usually find it in any store, right? Whether it's a Walmart, a gas station, Handy Mart, whatever. And it's got the flame regulator snuffer, and it's got the screw-on lid with a nice O-ring. And it says it has a concave design on the base, so it's more stable. And of course, it's a Pathfinder, so that means it's a Dave Canterbury product. And I will say this, I'm not going to say anything. I will say this, though. He's got a Swedish knockoff mess kit that looks very interesting that I've eyeballed more than once. So well, we'll see how that goes. But it says with the 4.5 ounces of fuel, it's got about 2 hours of burn time. Okay. What's it say over here? No, this is on how to fix it up. Okay. It says fill to the top. Let's see. We've done that. So I'm going to put the lid back on it while I prepare my cooking area. I'll put that right there. All right, so we're doing this in my Hungarian army mess kit because I can put stuff in here. So I've got hot sauce, my shepherd hooks, salt and pepper, tools because I'm not an animal, and a pot holder. Okay, so we'll put this right here. Like that for now. Man, got me a dry cough. You know, I was sick for almost a month. Had some kind of damn voodoo flu. I'll put it up here. Don't mean to rat nobody out, but my wife and whole family went to Florida for a wedding and come back with some kind of Florida illegal migrant, illegal alien voodoo fucking Haitian flu, and it knocked my dick in the dirt for 3+ weeks. Anyways, as you can see, I took my shepherd hooks and made them into L hooks. back over here. So as you can see, I've pounded those in. And that, in theory, is supposed to hold this up, and it's not going to because this one's too low. Well, when I get some chow in there, it'll be just fine. So we swing these hooks out of the way. All right. So let's see here. Let's see what's left in here that I haven't already eaten, right? I have got the strawberry jam, and I've already eaten one out of the other ones. This stuff's very good, guys. Peanut butter, we all know what government peanut butter tastes like. It's about like government cheese, right? Tastes like poverty. The shortbread, oh, this is an oatmeal cookie, okay? These are really good. And the shortbread cookie, yeah, they're pretty dang good too. And government crackers, same as the cheese and peanut butter. Not bad, but, you know, pretty much tastes like poverty. And the nutritional facts of your main entrees. Okay, so we put this back in here. Well, let's see. How am I going to do this? Let me think about this. I didn't think this through real hard, guys. Okay, so put the spices on. I think what I'll do is I'll cut up my meat. I'll put the meat in. And I'm going to tell you, to be fair, I should eat this thing straight out of the package. I've already had one of these. It's not bad. Take my word for it. It's edible without meat, but if you're like me and you're carnivorous, you want meat in your food. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this up real quick. Yep, still smells like meat. And I am cutting this up with a buck 110 that I bought brand new in 1980 in the PX at Camp Lejeune for my dad's 40th birthday. I went home on leave to see him, and my mom, of course, and family and all that good shit like you do when you're on leave. But I knew my dad wanted one because he had seen the one I had, so I went to the PX and I bought this knife brand new in 1980. And then when he was sick, he gave it back to me. Slightly used and not abused at all. So he took great pride in having this thing. I don't break it out too often for that very reason. That, well, it's got a lot of sentimental value to it. And I never want to do anything that would be bad for it. So you'll never see me batoned wood with it or anything stupid ass like that. But I'm more than willing to cut up food with it. Okay, so we'll cut this open. It's hard to beat a buck knife, that's for sure. All right, oh gosh, I forgot. This stuff, it's not the most appetizing looking stuff, but it does taste pretty dang good. It's like a vegetable soup with no meat, but now we got venison. So vegetable barley stew with smoked venison soft jerky. Let's get all this in there. And there's all kinds of good stuff in here. There's all kinds of vegetables. I mean, it's definitely a good vegetable stew. Oh, you want some of that? You gonna come over and take a taste? You want to try it? Here. There you go. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I just threw a little bit of that to a chicken. All right, so let's get back on track here, guys. Oh, she's gonna come back up for some more. Here we go. Come on. You gonna take it off my finger? You can do it. There you go. Good girl. Don't take the finger, just take the food. Okay, so enough fooling around with the chickens. We will need to make a cup of coffee or tea to start with, right? I think I'm gonna go with some Gold Roast 3-in-1. Thanks, Noah. It's the last package I got. What else do we got in here? Yeah, sugar, crushed red pepper. They don't even give you hot sauce in these things, but so you'll have to make up your own little drink bag for these HDRs. But oh, now I know I should probably do like most people do, and I should time this boil, but I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is I'm going to take a match from the matches that came in the HDR, and I'm going to see if this thing will light up. I heard it light, so that out. We'll give that a couple of minutes to charge up, right? I'll put that right there. And I don't have a freaking pot holder with me. Well, actually I do. I got this one right here. This will work just fine. All right, so I should have brought a paper towel out. Here's what I should have done. So we'll just wipe it on my pant leg, right? That's why dogs like a person that wipes fucking crap like that off on their pant leg. They'll smell that and they're like, ooh, this guy's okay. So now, next move is going to be put a little water in this. This should be enough. And my tools today are my handy dandy military knockoff made in Chinchland, China. I mean, sorry, I don't mean to be so disrespectful. They work just fine. Bottle opener, fork, knife, and spoon is what it is, right? So now we'll stir this up a little bit, right? Actually, let's put a little more water in there. And I don't mean to sound like a NASCAR driver, even though I am cooking out of my Pathfinder stove and I'm heating up a cup of coffee in my River Country Products cup. This is, I found it on the dock Yeti cooler, completely customized with cool stickers, right? Yeah, guys, I have no intentions of freaking selling out. I really don't. I want to get monetized. Believe me, I want to get monetized. But, YouTube's riding me like a bike with no seat on that shit. And case in point, these fucking SEO agents, they'll send you this fucking email stating that excuse me, that they really like your website, that they like your YouTube channel and it has all this potential, but I need their help. And they'll push me up to getting monetized and they'll push me over the edge, as they say. And then they'll sign it with some name I can't pronounce, let alone spell. That's an immediate red flag to me. And then they call themselves the YouTube Bulls. All right, well, that's a huge red flag to me because when I hear the term YouTube Bull, that makes me think that you are actually a part of YouTube. So how does that work? I've yet to have anyone explain it to me. So I'm sure I give you a credit card number or I give you my banking information, which that'll never fucking happen. And then what do? You call up your friend over in the throttle department and you say, hey, this guy's paid the ransom, unthrottle his page. I mean, explain to me how that works, because I don't have that much trust in people whose names I cannot spell or pronounce. I mean, what's involved here? I probably got to give you the password to my channel. Well, guess what? That ain't going to fucking happen unless I have a physical fucking address to you. So in case something goes wrong, I can go to your house and I can beat your fucking ass in person. Banking information? Well, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen either. Too much trust. Or I'll have to open up some kind of dummy account, right? But I feel like, I've gotten to where I've gotten on YouTube all by myself and word of mouth. Somebody stumbles across the page and they're like, hey, check out this wing nut, and they send it to their friends, right? And it just grows naturally despite YouTube's best efforts to keep me squished, right? Like the rest of us small-time creators, right? Keep us squished to make room for the big guys, I guess, that pay that SEO ransom. I don't know. Anyways, let's see, is this getting hot? Actually, I don't think it is, or is it? Well, it shows it's hot. I don't know. We'll see. Well, the water's warming up, so I guess I'll either keep talking, or through the magic of editing, it will be boiling, hopefully. Maybe I'm just over-expectating. I don't know. I mean, I expect this alcohol stove to work way better than a do-it-yourselfer. And for $20, I expect it to boil some fucking water. I expect it to fry eggs, fry bacon, and all kinds of good shit. But with that being said, there might be a slight learning curve to this. I don't know. Like I said last time, I attribute the failure of the stove to the fact that I was using old heat, which I'm sure degrades after a while, and maybe not, I don't know. And the fact that everything wasn't that high. It was too high from the stove. So hopefully this stuff is set close enough now, and we'll be able to watch it boil. As a matter of fact, let me turn this camera and see, maybe our B-roll will be in focus. There we go. But yeah, I can see the waves in the shadow there from the heat. Well, it's starting to steam a little. That's good. So I guess we're making progress here. And as soon as that water's boiling, I will put in my coffee, and then I'll be enjoying coffee while we wait for my HDR to warm up. Oh, here's some more for the chickens. And we can always do this, right? Let's see how much more I can get out of here. I mean, I'm sure if I was a starving refugee, I would not be sharing this with chickens. Well, if I was a starving refugee, there wouldn't be no fucking chickens, would there? Come on, guys. Come over here and get some. All right, who else wants to eat out of my hand? Come on, Blue. You'll do it. I know you will. There you go. There you guys go. Good girls. Who else wants some? Okay, stay away from the cup, though. It's hot. So in case you guys didn't know, a happy chicken is a tender chicken. And if you spend a little time with them, they become petting chickens. Now, because of the stove, I'm not going to grab one, but depending on what I'm giving them, they will jump right up onto my lap and eat out of my hand. Right now, they're just kind of eating off my finger, but good. All right, guys, go away. The rest of it's for me. And yeah, and all I got to say to you fucking assholes in the government that are whining about bird food trying to scare me, how about this? Why don't we just How about if I just leave them in the coop for 2 weeks to flatten the curve? Let's see how that works out, fucking jackasses. I ain't scared of no fucking bird flu. Goddamn COVID didn't kill me. I don't see where the bird flu is going to kill me. It's a made up fucking ick. As far as I'm concerned, it's a made up deal. Not buying into it, guys. Not buying into it one little bit. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. These things do come with a wet nap. All right, here we go. Let's clean our fingers up. You guys are waiting on the stew. You can just keep on waiting. You got the scraps. That's what you got. Oh, I know. Quit whining. Well, I see bubbles in the cup, so I'm assuming that it's getting hot. Yeah, I looked this stuff up online, and all I got to say is I'm not paying the fucking Amazon price for this stuff. It is very good coffee, but the vendors I saw on Amazon were mighty proud of this stuff. I think if I look around, because of where this stuff comes from, my guess is that if I go to an Asian market, I might be able to find this stuff. We'll just have to see. When it's warm enough to ride my motorcycle, I might go looking for some of this stuff, because it says it's manufactured by the Gold Roast Food Industry. Get away from the stove. And in Singapore. So I don't know if they make it there or if that's just the people that are behind it, but no matter what, this stuff is pretty dang good for instant coffee. So, well, it's not quite boiling yet, but you know how your cup looks when it's about to boil and you got all those bubbles in there? That's where we're at with that right now. No, girl, you get away from that cup, you'll regret that. Guess they want to be YouTube famous too, right? They have been hating this last week ever since the snowstorm. This is the first day since the snow they've been out and about, because we got a little bit of grass starting to pop back up. They have been in their pens, just sitting in the house wishing the damn snow would melt. They don't like snow at all. Imagine, I guess some of them got feathers on their feet, but I guess that don't matter. Their feet still get cold. But yeah, they be hating snow. They ain't never seen it before, so I can't blame them. And now it's melted now pretty much, but we had about 8 inches here in the backyard. It was pretty impressive, to say the least. All right, bubbles are starting to rise. That's close enough to boiling for me, guys. And do not put it on the plastic thingamajig. There we go. Pour this in there like that. Clean enough. Ah, that's some good coffee, man. It really is. Yeah, they don't give you coffee or fruit punch or anything crazy like that in these HDRs, but they do give you a book of matches. So, I mean, when was the last time you seen a book of matches? Sorry, guys. I still got a nagging dry cough. And I would like to say, not trying to punk for Sportsman's Guide, but I just got a sale catalog in the mail today, and they have these HDRs on sale again for $35.99. So you might as well just say $3.60 for a 2,000 calorie a day meal with no coffee or sweet drinks. But let me remind you again of what's in here. They're pretty redundant. I've opened a couple of them, and what I'm going to do from here on out is I'm just going to take what's not been already tested. And I've opened up a number 2 and a number 3, and they are a little on the redundant side. But they have a brown sugar Pop-Tart, cinnamon brown sugar Pop-Tart with no frosting. It's still a Pop-Tart, right? And then it's got a shortbread cookie, it's got an oatmeal cookie, and it's got crackers, the 2 entrees, and then peanut butter and jelly. So you just add some meat to this stuff, and you've got a very cheap meal. But it's going to be like beans and rice, peas and rice. It's going to be vegetable stew, that sort of thing. What I've seen in the other ones, I shouldn't, you know what, I'm not going to talk about them. You'll just have to wait till I make another video. But every one of these seems really good, and it looks like all you need is either some form of beef, some form of chicken, a sausage, maybe even some tuna fish. And then, like I said, you just simply add your whatever you want for drinks in here. All right, is this warming up? Well, we'll see. But they call this stuff a stew, I guess, sort of. But so far, every one that I've cooked, I've had to add water to it, and I've had to add water, and of course salt and pepper and hot sauce. Which reminds me, okay, we got sugar, we got more sugar. Oh yeah, I used the salt and pepper last time. These are caps off of insulin rigs, all right, and tape one end so you open it up properly without getting it all over the place, right? Trust me on that. This one looks to be, you can't even see in it. Oh, it's empty. And don't forget to fill the damn things up once in a while, right? Okay, there's something in here. Well, this appears to be a mixture of both. Okay, so this is salt and pepper. Okay, I don't know how that happened, but got some sea salt and some black pepper in there. And without even tasting it, I know I need hot sauce, because no meal is complete without Texas Pete, right? And this is not Texas Pete. This is Louisiana brand hot sauce. I got it because it was at Wally World for $1, so I couldn't pass that up, right? Oh, this stuff looks like it's warming up, guys. There's carrots in there, there's corn in there, there's potatoes, there's tomato paste, I think. I don't know. I forget. I'll tell you in a second here. Vegetable barley stew, water, barley, tomato paste, potatoes, corn, carrots, bell peppers, garlic powder, onions, salt, black pepper, and then some other crap that's hard to pronounce. They got to put some stupid shit in there, I guess. But this was packed for Pico Packaging, Mullins, South Carolina. Okay, what about the other one? Same one. So I guess the entrees, at least, are coming from South Carolina. I don't know. Man, that stuff tastes good. It really does. I got to get some more of that stuff. And it's convenient. Sugar, cream, and coffee all in one pack. You just can't go wrong. Now this here, I don't think I've talked about this or even used it on camera yet. Picked this up at the dollar store. It's just like a Rubbermaid cutting board. I can put it in a haversack. I can put it in my pack. Put it in my saddlebag. Just makes life easier, right, guys? All right, well, this is starting to look a little bit like a cross between a soup and a stew. I would like to see it nice and hot. Not just warmed up enough to eat. I want it to boil. So, my Pathfinder stove lid got the Pathfinder logo on it. It's got a nice O-ring. Now, this is something I'd like to see if I can find a replacement at the hardware store, so I don't have to pay the Pathfinder price if I need a new one. Just have to be careful not to put it on a hot stove, right? And this, now I have a homemade stove with a homemade regulator. It sort of worked, you know, so we'll see how that goes later on when I learn more about this stove. But like I said, I got high hopes of it. I know I could, oh, excuse me. I should be able to fill it up with alcohol. Gives me 2 hours of burn time. Depending on how long it takes to boil something up, I should be able to use it for at least 2 days. I don't know. Probably depends on how much coffee I want to drink, right? Okay, I see this here starting to boil a little bit. That's very encouraging. Yeah, that's starting to look edible. I guess I can say one nice thing about an MRE is that it's not dehydrated. It's pretty much, unless it's outdated, it's pretty much going to be the same thing every time you eat it. Same flavor, same consistency, same everything, right? Just add a different style of meat. As I seen, I can't wait to cook this up again, the vegetable barley thing, because I found in Walmart the other day a slab of beef. I don't know exactly what kind of beef it is, but it says it was a slice of beef, prepackaged MRE style. Kind of like a slice of Spam, right? It's probably just the parts they didn't, probably leftover cow, right? But I'm encouraged about that because then I can put some actual beef in the beef stew. And then I'll have actual vegetable barley beef stew, right? That should be good, if that stuff's good, but it's probably just some salty ass processed shit, right? But when we're camping, we're not necessarily eating healthy, and we're not necessarily eating gourmet meals. We're eating meals that will fill us up and be halfway nutritional, right? Like this right here. I don't know exactly how many grams of protein I'm adding by putting the venison in there, but I'm sure it gives it a nice boost. I know the lentil stew, which is basically beans and rice, that actually had 13 grams of protein, but I guess that was from the lentils. That was like lentils and rice and all kinds of stuff, and that was actually tasty. Next time I see the lentil stew, I'm going to be getting me a Polish sausage, a kielbasa, Italian sausage, some kind of sausage to go with it, and I think it'll be great. Wow, this stuff's boiling really good, guys. Okay, dokie. I'm going to call that good. We'll put that right there and let it sit for a minute. We'll turn these things around. Oh boy, that thing's cooking, definitely. Yeah, the stove's hot. I can feel it. Okay. And we'll put the little snuff ring on it. And that should put it right out. We'll let it cool off. Once it's cool to the touch, I can put the lid back on it. All right, guys, so here we go. vegetable barley stew, HDR style, with some smoked venison soft jerky with a little bit of salt, pepper, and hot sauce. Got a little carried away with the salt, but it is very good, guys. Very tasty. It ain't like your grandma's vegetable stew, but still pretty good. I'm going to say this one here is a success. If the price is right to you, I would say buy these now. I've only eaten the number 1. Next, we're eating the number 2, and then we'll eat the number 3, and the number 4, and the number 5, just to refresh your memory. A case of these is 10 packages like this, 2 each. So there's 5 different packs for $35.99. I just don't see how you can go wrong, guys. So I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to eat this stuff, and I'll get back to you in a couple of minutes, okay? Alrighty, guys. Well, I polished that off, and it was good. Good coffee, good lunch. So, so far I have polished off the number 1 HDR, which was a lentil stew and a vegetable barley stew. Both of them were very good. The lentil stew, when I made that, I made it with chicken. Next time I'll use sausage. I used venison today for the vegetable stew, and it was good. It was definitely good. But what I'm going to do with the rest of these guys is I've got 4 more of these to test. We're not going to talk about the Pop-Tart or the shortbread cookie or the oatmeal cookie. They're redundant. I've ate them. They're good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break these down, and then I think what I'll do is, like, when I go fishing, I'll take my little cup and a couple tea bags and maybe a cookie or 2 rather than take a whole lunch, right? But I will say this about the oatmeal cookie. It's dang good. It tastes, I can taste the brown sugar and cinnamon in it and other spices. It's really quite good. A little on the hard side, kind of a dunker, but it's still very good. And like I said in the beginning of the video, Sportsman's Guide has these on sale right now for $35.99. I do believe I am going to invest in another box of these. And I probably should have taken a picture of the little, there's a little doodad sticker on a case of MREs. It tells you if it's been stored properly or not. And mine was picture perfect. So hopefully if I order another one, it'll be just as fresh as the one I've got now. Like I said, the strawberry jam is really good. The peanut butter tastes like government peanut butter, you know, aka poverty. But so yeah, guys, HDR number 1, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Okay, my new Pathfinder stove, now that I got fresh alcohol in it and I straightened out my pegs, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 for right now. I might change it up, but it doesn't leak. After it cooled off, I put the lid on there, held it upside down, did not leak. So for right now, I do believe it was a smart investment. We'll see. I got to do some more cooking on it before I'll give you a final answer on that. But excuse me. If y'all are curious about my bedroom, just speak up in the comments, because I've got a new air mattress in here that I haven't talked about. And for those of you that follow the channel, you know that this is my 12-foot extra wide chameleon Dutchware hammock. The tarp is a Gold Armor 12 by 14 tarp. It's my wintertime tarp, because I can redo it the way I want. I got it in porch mode right now, but I can strap it on down tight like a pup tent. I can put a poncho on one end to block the wind, and I can put a poncho on the other end to block the wind, and I got me a little cubicle in here. But because of my bad back and injuries I have received over the years, I prefer to sleep in a hammock versus a bed. So unless it's absolutely freezing out, I come out in the backyard and I crash out here. Studio A is also my bedroom, guys. But my sleeping bag is rated for 0 degrees. The coldest I've ever been out here in is like 5 degrees, and I was still warm. If it would have got any colder, I'm not sure, but I've slept in 5-degree weather in a hammock. Not this hammock, a different one. And it was set up similar to this. I had a sleeping pad in it, and then I had a sheepskin on top of the sleeping pad. Well, actually, it was a sleeping mattress. It was my climate, which was semi-insulated. And my 0-degree mummy bag. And I'm warm and I'm comfortable. I wake up in the morning. My back feels good. I feel good. So, you know, that's just how it works, guys. I think I've rambled on more than enough for this video. So appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one. We'll do a number 2 next time. See you later, guys.